Welcome back, everyone, to the Bears Football Plays YouTube channel. Today is Wednesday, October 23rd. We're going to be taking a look at a full slate of games in the NBA. We have several matchups that we could take a look at, but we're only going to be breaking down two matchups for the night. First one's going to be the Milwaukee Bucks going up against the 76ers. Then we're going to take a look at the Atlanta Hawks going up against the Brooklyn Nets. Two game picks, my two best player props for the entire slate. But before we get to those, let's take a look at the recap graphic. We do have Boston Celtics minus 5.5 going up against the Knicks tonight. That game has not started. 6:23 Central is about to tip off in 7 minutes. And then we have the Lakers on the money line going up against the T-Wolves. Jalen Brunson over 27.5 points against Boston. And then Dante DiVincenzo over 2.5 made threes going up against the Lakers. Here's the leaderboard. Had all the stats on it from last season on the last video, but now it's fresh. 0-0, endless possibilities. My favorite time of the year is whenever we get to kick off a new sport, having that 0-0 leaderboard. It's just nice. No losses on the board. Anything is possible. But let's take a look at the plays for tomorrow. We're going to be looking at the Milwaukee Bucks going up against the 76ers as the first play. Last season, the Bucks, they were dealing with a lot of injuries, including Chris Middleton and Giannis Antetokounmpo. They're somewhat healthy this season. They got their big man back, but Chris Middleton is still going to be out in this game dealing with that ankle injury he suffered last season, having off-season surgery. He's not going to be ready for this game. That's going to hurt them just a little bit in this spot, but the 76ers have their own problems. They landed Paul George in the offseason. He's going to be out in this game with that hyperextended knee. The injury, it looked disgusting, but the good news for the 76ers is nothing looks torn, and it doesn't seem to be too serious. And it does say Paul George is a game-time decision, but we got the Woj bomb in the middle of the day on Tuesday afternoon, said Paul George is inactive. So this is still a really good 76ers team. I would take them minus 2.5, but we can't because in that Woj bomb, Joel Embiid is already going to be missing the first game of the season. He's going to be out in this game as well. So it looks like no Paul George, no Joel Embiid. That's going to put all the weight on Tyrese Maxey's shoulders. They do have Kelly Oubre Jr. back in the lineup. They also added Caleb Martin, who's going to be the power forward in this game. So they have some decent role players beside him. They've also got the Duke TikTok star Jared McCain coming off the bench. I think he's going to be a really good basketball player. Not overly excited about the TikTok stuff. Doesn't really matter, though. He gets paid to put the ball in the hole. If he shoots well, then who cares what he does outside of basketball? I don't think they're going to be good enough to beat the Bucks in this game. I think they're going to lose on their home court without the two superstars on the floor. The Bucks, it looks like, they're going to be close to the same team last year. They brought in Gary Trent Jr., should be a good addition. Lillard, Lopez, Giannis as the other three. I just don't think the 76ers have enough firepower to keep up with both those players for Joel Embiid and Paul George out in this game. I just don't think they can keep up with the Bucks. I'm going to take the Bucks here, minus 3.5 on the road as the play. And for the next play, we're going to be looking at the Hawks going up against the Brooklyn Nets. I don't know why, but whenever I look at the Nets, I see a lot of wins. And that's probably not a good thing because this could be one of the worst basketball teams this season. But I take a look at that lineup, and I see a lot of points being scored with this team going up against the Hawks team, who didn't make a lot of changes last year, and they gave up a lot of points last year. I'm going to take a shot on the Nets here, plus 7.5 is the play. They finally have put Cam Thomas in the starting lineup. This is a superstar talent, scoring buckets, horrible defense. I think that's the reason why he was coming off the bench for the Nets last season, but could be other reasons. Could be coaching decision, could be stuff off the court that I'm not realizing, but he always gave them a spark off the bench, it felt like. He'd go for 20-plus points, it felt like, every other night. Every time he touched the ball would go in, it felt like. But last season, something was off. Again, I don't know if it was off the court issues or just coaching or he just didn't play defense, but this season, he's in the starting lineup. He's alongside Dennis Schroeder, Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Nick Claxton. Good defensive players alongside a good scoring guard. I'm hoping that leads to some defense and some good offense. Johnson and Thomas are going to be letting the threes fly in this game. It feels like they can put up double-digit threes combined every other game. So I love the Nets scoring. Question marks on defense, but I like the front court for them. The Hawks are bringing back Trae Young, Hunter, Jalen Johnson, and Clint Capella from last year. The new addition in the starting lineup is Dyson Daniels. Kind of a weird get to put in there for. He was on the Pelicans last year, 22 minutes per game. Nothing stands out on the stats. 5 points a game, 3 rebounds per game. I don't know. Maybe just a super athletic guy that the Hawks can bring in. But this Hawks team, it feels like it's going to disappoint again. So I'm going to take the Nets here plus 7.5. I think it's a lot of points for a team who doesn't play great defense in Atlanta. I'm going to take the Nets plus 7.5 as the play here on opening night. Let's go over to the player props. And for the first player prop of the day, we're going to be looking at the Pistons going up against the Pacers. The Pacers last season made that nice run in the postseason, taking down the Knicks and the Bucks before they were ultimately put down by the NBA champs, the Boston Celtics, in 4 games. From what I can remember about the Indiana Pacers last season, they were able to score a lot of points per game, but they also gave up a lot of points per game. I believe they were top 5 in scoring and the worst defensive team in the NBA last year. So I do think they're going to have their problems guarding Cade Cunningham in this game. And I'm going to be the first to say, I love this Pistons team. I loved them last season. Got me into a lot of trouble because they went on that historic losing streak. But this team has all the talent in the world. They're just super young. They've got to find a way to unlock the talent. They are young. They are dangerous. They have Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren. Those are the young guys alongside Marcus Sasser, who they just drafted, and Azur Thomas, who they drafted last season. I think they made a massive, massive mistake bringing in Tobias Harris. I like them bringing in veteran presence. I don't like them paying Tobias Harris all that money. They also have Tim Hardaway Jr. and Malik Beasley that they brought in. So good veteran guys, just paid Tobias Harris way too much money. So the potential's there for this team. They've just got to find a way to make it all click together, work as a team, play well as a team. They're super young. They're super talented. Cade Cunningham last season, he dealt with a lot of injuries, but he was the best player on the floor whenever he was healthy, scoring a ton of points per game. I'm going to take him to be the leading scorer in this game. Pacers are a bad defensive team, especially last season. That's going to transfer over to this season. Basically the same team. Give me the over 24.5 points as the play for Cade. And then finally, we're going to be taking a look at the last player prop here. Just drafted the NBA. You know who it is. You watched him in college. Taking a shot here on Zach Edey. Over 10.5 points as the play. Nobody gave this guy a shot, really. People thought maybe second round, maybe sign him off the street because he's so big. But the tournament run with Purdue last season, that got him drafted in the first round by the Grizzlies late in the first round. I'm going to take a shot on him. 10.5 points. This is the starting center for the Grizzlies on opening day going up against the Jazz. If you take a look at his preseason numbers and you watched his preseason, it looked pretty good. You can see why he earned that starting spot. He played in 5 games for the Grizzlies in the preseason, going between 18 and 22 minutes per game. He was able to score 10-plus points in 3 of the first 5 games. This is a massive human being. He's 7'4". He's 300-plus pounds. I'm guessing he's 350-plus. He's going up against John Collins, who's 6'8", 220, and Taylor Hendricks, who's 6'9", 215. If you want to put Laurie on him, that's fine. You're still going to be 100 pounds of weight difference and 4 inches of height difference. This is maybe the closest thing that we've seen to Yao Ming, because usually whenever you see a 7'4" guy, he's extremely scrawny, but Zach Edey, he is built like a tank, and he moves extremely well. That's a really big thing for the Memphis Grizzlies. He has a very good shot percentage inside the paint, making 22 of his first 39 shots in the preseason. They really just have to get this guy 7 or 8 looks. I think he can hit this one easily. I'm going to take the over 10.5 points as the play. Let's go over to the recap graphic. We're going to be taking the Bucks minus 3.5 against the 76ers without Paul George and Joel Embiid. The Nets plus 7.5. Cade Cunningham over 24.5 points against the Pacers. And then Zach Edey over 10.5 points going up against the Utah Jazz. Guys, that's going to do it for the NBA plays and props for Wednesday, October 23rd slate of games. If you guys enjoyed the content, please sure to drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel below. See you guys next video, and thanks for watching.